Great. Yeah, we're starting with the introduction. So Datasphere, or formerly known as Data Warehousing Cloud, that's the application, a cloud data warehousing application that we're going to talk about for the rest of the training course sessions. So we'll start with what is Datasphere and how important it is going to be in the cloud data world. And then we also understand what are the prerequisite technologies or skill set required to attend this course or to learn Datasphere effectively and efficiently. So we start with Datasphere. So it's a data fabric solution, to put it in a very simple way. Data fabric is a combination of all data engineering technologies together, or concepts together: data integration, preparation, modeling, and governance. We would have been doing all these different um, activities in using one or multiple tools in the past. So with the DataSphere introduction, the positioning of DataSphere in SAP Cloud World is a completely SaaS product, software as a service product, and then it can provide data fabric solution to the customers in data integration, data preparation, which is a transformation, ETL plus transformations, and the modeling for analytical model developments and governance. That is something that is always overlooked for many years, but it is gaining a lot of importance now. Governance is very popular in Azure or Microsoft, any other side of cloud technologies, especially which talks about cataloging, lineage, impact analysis, and all. So we would have been seeing in some of the legacy products in SAP, but really didn't get a lot of importance to the governance. So that becomes something that becoming important as well. So we're going to learn governance as well, and that is part of DataSphere product as part of the data fabric solution. Um, so we're going to understand the evolution of data warehouse. What happened? How did it come to data warehouse product, and what was the journey behind it? So we're going to go through a sketch and then see. Let me explain. So we have two data warehouse worlds in SAP in the past. Traditionally, BW has been there for SAP flagship data modeling tool for several years, even now. At the top uh, priority list is always BW in terms of data warehousing for many customers. At the same time, about 10 years ago, SAP introduced SAP HANA native or database. Initially started with as a database, and then eventually it got started as data warehousing solution as well. These two paths going in parallel for a very long time. And then after a while, um, cloud concepts came into picture, and some of the scenarios where BW and HANA combinations also became very popular, um, mixed modeling scenarios and etc. And at one point, SAP decided to say, okay, so we're going to put a completely brand new product for data warehousing solution that's going to sit on the cloud, public cloud, as no maintenance for the hardware infrastructure and maintenance and etc. And then that is going to be available for customers as a software as a service subscription on BTP. So this is what happened. So DataSphere will overcome the limitations in HANA Cloud, some of the, I mean, native HANA Cloud or native HANA data warehouse, and some of the BW on HANA um, challenges in the cloud world. At this time, there may be some limitations, but in future, this product is going to be the flagship product for data warehousing solutions. Not only data warehousing, but also data integration and preparation, as well as modeling and governance. But primarily, we are talking about data warehousing. That's why I put this um, in detail. So what I'm going to do, let me draw a roadmap just for a quick second. I'm not sure I'm going to put it as a sketch. Just let me share a different screen for you. Let me know once I share the screen. If you are able to, just give me a second. Okay, I'm going to switch on my screen mirroring. You'll see a different screen now. It's just that for sketches and drawings, I'm going to use my touchpad so that it is going to be easy to draw something instead of um,
Sorry, we can't see it.
just give me a second. It's coming. It's mirroring. Just few seconds.
You got it now.
Okay. Okay. I hope you can see it all. Okay. So what I'm going to draw what I was saying. So we have two parallel paths, actually maybe three parallel paths. As for embedded analytics is something that I really didn't put put the oh, just sorry, my that's fine. I can put this one here. Yeah. So it seems to be this isn't working, but it's fine. I can just use my okay. So in the first place we have BW and then we have HANA as the database as a native HANA. And then we have S4 HANA at some point. That's only for embedded analytics. So this was also a very popular use case for many years but still the case. So BW has got BW on HANA and BW for HANA evaluation. It's going to be still there. We still have BW for HANA version, and it's going to be supported for a very long time, 2040. So it's not going to go anywhere. And then native HANA, its evaluation is still there. On-premise versions are still available for BW4 or S4 HANA on-premise installation. But what we have seen a big change is HANA Cloud. That is also on BTP. So we have HANA Cloud that's going to be um, used as a database warehouse for several years. And that's when Datasphere finally came in here as um, one solution that can fulfill data warehousing needs. So BW4, most of the BW concepts have been redesigned or re-implemented in Datasphere. For example, if you are designing analytical models, like multidimensional models, facts, star schemas, and everything, and also query. If you're familiar with BW, just it's going to be okay. If you are not familiar with BW, then it's something overwhelming at the very beginning because most of the concepts, some of the concepts at least, are related to BW. So you got non-cumulative key figures, calculated columns, restricted columns, exception aggregations, whatnot. All the traditional core BW capabilities are redesigned in Datasphere. So eventually you will have Datasphere in data warehousing solution as one product on cloud. And then HANA Cloud also has been a very proven data warehousing tool with SDI and SLT and BODS as the integration tools. But SAP is not promoting an HANA Cloud for data warehousing needs in the recent months. So I haven't seen anybody who is using HANA Cloud as the data warehouse in the recent months, even though DataSphere has been there. The DataSphere sits on HANA Cloud, so underlying database is still HC, but still very limited capabilities. Very customers are not really using a lot in the HANA Cloud functionalities. It's more application layer, which is DSP layer, commonly used, and less HANA Cloud layer that's going to be used in the future. So with that, you can say both BW as well as HANA Cloud native data warehouses are evolved to DataSphere. And we're going to see a lot of requirements for customers in the coming months in the DataSphere world. More importantly, not only these data warehouses, ETL tools. I didn't cover the S4 scenario. S4 scenario will continue to same. It will go either to the S4 HANA private cloud with Rise or S4 HANA public cloud with Grow. Doesn't matter. You still your embedded analytics with serious views will continue to be there, and that is where reporting, transactional reporting, and operational analytics use case. So far on the top, we are talking about um, strategical analytics are like a 3 years or 4 years huge data processing. Not only that, but also non-SAP data that is coming in raw formats or any unstructured data which is processed based in the data storage, like data lakes and etc. So DataSphere will evolve a lot in general data warehousing world. Integrations. So we're going to talk about the integrations as well. So integration tools, we've been using lot of integration tools, BODS, SLT, um, cloud data intelligence, CIDS, CPI. We have a lot of ETL tools so far that I've been using. Most of the ETL tools now going to work with DSP or DataSphere in future. So for example, in cloud world, we SAP will try to restrict the usage of SLT to a lot, because even for S4 ABAP systems like S4, there's not going to be SLT tool involved. It is going to be based on a different technology, about pipeline engine, which is totally different than SLT, and BODS has no relevance in cloud data integrations. I wouldn't call data no relevance, but my point is that they're all going to be faded in a very near future, and especially in the cloud world. Your cloud integration technologies will come into play a very big role of something like cloud data intelligence, which has been there in cloud data world for a very long time, but this is not. And eventually, SAP decided that cloud data intelligence or that product is being going to be retired in 2028. All the capabilities of cloud data intelligence will be absorbed or grandfather, whatever the term they call, into DataSphere as part of transformation, replication flows, and transfer some of the objects in DataSphere. So I'm going to go in very detail. Just I'm going to stop here and not go into the detail. But overall, the point I wanted to make you understand here at this time is DataSphere is going to evolve as a big um, one product solution for data integrations and as well as data modeling um, solutions. We will understand why it is in the next upcoming topics. I'm going to take this back to the content. So I'm going to share my screen again and put this back to regular screen. Okay. So I'm going to stop here and then look a couple of questions here.
Yeah, hi Shrikant, Venu here.
Um, yeah, I think we can have question and answers at the end, but yeah, you can ask this
Fine.
question for now.
No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we'll ask at the end, no problem.
Yeah, or you can type in this question so that we will see the relevance of it and then topic, and then when it is relevant, then I can explain that at the time when it is relevant.
No problem.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll continue. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I can read out some of the questions are related to AI component. We will definitely talk about this in the end. Dual AI assistant. Once I get into the BTP, I will talk about all the Dual and AI capabilities there. So let me go till business technology platform, and then we get better idea on what are the different services that are being offered as part of um, current BTP world services. Okay. Let hope I'm not boring, but yeah, this. So it's. I would call out that it is not a traditional, simple terms put it in way. I speak a lot of current um, discussions happening in the business world, customer world, as well as um, technology forums, SAP, ASAG, or what is the tech heads and etc. So it's not only just we talk how to do the activities in an application that you can do very easy. Anyway, we will be doing in the system. We can go to that business builder and create replication flow, transformation flow. It's going to be so easy. You can implement that in anywhere. That's okay. That's not going to be a real difference maker for you. The difference you can make the difference when you understand why this is happening. What is the evaluation from the past to the current, um, and then you will be able to advise in a better way to the customers. That is where solution advisory coming into place. That's where SAP or Deloitte, EY, all these big players come and say, we do provide solution advisory and come up with a different architectures. So in this cloud world, there is no one simple architecture that you can come up with. There are some best practices, but you can always have multiple options to do the job in different ways. So we will try to see how this activity can be done in multiple ways and why SAP is suggesting this particular product versus other. We talk about more on those discussions. So if you look at this couple of notes, SAP roadmap is more towards data lake, data warehouse, and data science, bringing all these things into one product. That is how Business Data Cloud came in a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. So you have Business Data Cloud that's coming up, a one product solution, combining Datasphere, Databricks, that's very important, and SAC for a very long time. I don't know why it's required to be combined in all one solution. We didn't have the full information on why this has been done in this way. But the differentiation is going to be data store, object store. Traditionally, we've been seeing a lot of the object stores in Azure, AWS, S3. SAP has no option to go behind those big players and get the object store purchased and subscribed for a very long time. So that's how the cheaper storage options are available. Now with the Delta Lake architecture or Medallion architectures, you can build efficient data reporting analytics use cases based on top of object stores. So that's when the trend or the future direction is looking like in SAP data warehousing world or data engineering world. So you will see a lot about object stores like cheap storage from S3, blob storage, uh, Google, etc. And that is being provided in foundation services. That is the flagship um, area that SAP is going to come up with. We don't know how that is going to look like. They're going to come up with a lot of managed products. That's going to be a big difference. I don't want to tell this one at this time. What it is going to happen after 6 months or 8 months? Your data, we're going to learn a lot of data integration capabilities now. Eventually, SAP is going to take over the data integration within SAP in-house data centers, which means the SAP will manage the data integration. Currently, Rise already managing a lot of Rise. I keep telling Rise is S/4HANA's private cloud world. It is called Rise. Um, though it is not a public cloud software as a solution, SAP is managing a lot of services inside the Rise. Similarly, there's going to be a lot of SAP managed products in the future. So you don't have to worry about big replication processes to get the data from S4, ECC. And it looks funny that we're going to start about this now and then understand a lot of data integration uh, techniques and then eventually SAP is going to provide that everything in like a ready-made content, and it is not accessible to you, and they're going to manage in within SAP data center support. So that's going to look different, and we don't know how exactly they're going to manage all these data integrations and how effective it is going to be when there is an issue going to come, and how much support they're going to. Yeah, these are all things that are going to come in near future. So we use currently object store for cheaper storage a lot. So we're going to talk about object store in Datasphere in the upcoming sessions in this course. So we have talked about all these things. At on-premise world, we got BW4, BODS as integration tool, SLT as integration, native HANA as on-premise world. Yes, very limited focus now. So you most likely you always see cloud equivalent objects or equivalent tools every time that you speak to customers. They the only way that they can go and reach the AI capabilities is through the cloud data warehouse, cloud data engineering solutions. So that's why you see more and more investments happening in cloud services on BTP, like HANA Cloud, Datasphere. It's going to be BDC future, and even they brought BW into. It doesn't have to be BW4 private cloud. It's BW um, HANA private. So your BW system can be fully managed by not full managed by SAP like RISE. How S4 is being managed currently in RISE migrations, where you have on-premise system of ECC and you subscribe to RISE, and then SAP will take over the migration part and then manage a lot of services, infrastructure services as a part of public cloud, private cloud support. Similarly, BW on HANA is also going to be part of BDC, and then SAP will manage. So you see a lot of SAP managed products coming in near future. So what do we do if everything is managed by SAP? That's where data science and data integration, data engineering technologies come, and reporting capabilities and custom data products are to be built by developers. So we'll have to understand how could we do in a custom way if required, if because SAP could not provide everything on their own to all the customers. So that's where our importance come in as developers, and we customize the data products and integrations and every data analytics scenarios. So that's where we are going to focus more on learning. Let me see. Um, So Datasphere will be able to handle one of the questions related to current topic is Datasphere handle integrations on its own, or integration suite is necessary. Integration suite is a CPI different component. It has a totally different purpose for that. So we're going to talk about in less than 5 minutes about integration suite and the relevance of integration suite versus Datasphere. But to put it in a very short answer for your question, integration suite is a CPI. It's an application to application integration, not a data integration. So basically you process events, APIs. You call an API, get a response, and give it that response to another process in another system. It's like a process orchestration, XIX, PIPO in the past. That is where integration suite focus is, or positioning is. It cannot do what Datasphere or any of the data integration tools can do. So there's absolutely no overlap of responsibilities between integration suite and Datasphere. And integration suite is a very powerful tool, and it has got like a super importance in the S4 HANA and other cloud applications world, like Ariba, SuccessFactors. The only way that you can do the process orchestration is using integration suite. The other question is how PDC affect the overall value addition of Datasphere for clients, as Databricks can be used with existing BW system. Yeah, that is what we're going to understand in the near future. because the same questions, other Databricks can be really integrated with Datasphere currently. And you can always work Datasphere and Databricks together seamlessly, like any other cloud service provider are doing. Uh, this is not my understanding is this is not about Datasphere and Databricks in one solution. There's one reason, but main reason for the BDC, the positioning of BDC that I see is the foundation services where SAP is providing data products that are capable of doing the data integrations automatically managed by SAP. So you just activate something for a finance app, and I call it as Insight app. And in the background, real required data replication we have to do, right? You take the required CDS view, put it in a target table, you create replication flow or something, whatever the entire ETL activity now will be done as part of packaged in a activity by SAP. And there is a problem in doing that. SAP will take care of that by creating after you're creating a ticket. So that's where I see a lot of importance or change for BDC, especially not in the Datasphere and Databricks integration in general. The data lake architecture or Delta Lake architecture that is in the foundation services is going to be the big change or game changer for because it's the data lake and object store that SAP is also trying to adopt, like Microsoft and Oracle, what they have been doing outside. So it's not really SAP that they wanted to do. I think outside other companies, big ship, they are doing it, and um, SAP is following. That's what the way I can understand. Yeah. So I think we'll see this business data cloud product in detail in one of these sessions. So the other question is differences between marketplace data product and business. No, they are not same. They are totally different. The data marketplace data products are different. Business content in Datasphere is totally different. The new content that we are going to get is completely different than what they may reuse some of the logics that they have built as part of current business content, but it is going to be totally different product that they have packaging. They've been packaging. They are trying to package, I would say, and give it to the customer as part of just an active installation. So I'll come back to the questions after we cover some of the BW related topics. So I frequently touch base BW topics to the extent that is required. Um, because it's important as well. That's why similarly HANA Cloud and native HANA topics also. So it's going to be a combination of BW and native, as in I shown in my previous diagram. So we get to the relevance of HANA Cloud or HANA native HANA concepts and as well as BW concepts, both how they are seamlessly transitioning into DataSphere is what the target agenda, if I wanted to put it in a very simple way, about my course. So here I'm going to show a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk about this. If you're familiar with BW, this is pretty simple that you would have already seen multiple times. So just so clearly the strategic direction is going to the data sphere. So you got different options on how you're going to move to the data sphere. So if you are on older versions, you have option to use BW Bridge, which is BW on cloud, and then work with a DataSphere core in one tenant, like a DataSphere one instance. You can set up that. Another option is you can still continue to use the BW4 HANA system and then combine it by having import model concept. Similarly, you got import model concept from S4 HANA. So you share the metadata and work with these two tools together seamlessly. That's going to be added. Most of the customers, what I've seen so far, at least two customers that have seen, they work on this area. They retain the BW system, and then whenever they require some of the data that is sitting in Datasphere for the greenfield implementation that is outside of BW implementation. They share the data import models in BW4 to Datasphere and do the whatever other capabilities that can be done here. So eventually, yeah, they either come to BW Bridge or they can plan to the Datasphere directly also. So that is a greenfield implementation. It doesn't have to be anything. They just directly without BW, they just ERP S4 as an source, you just go and go with the greenfield implementation as. But overall, SAP discouraging to use these or at least prepare for a migration plan for the Datasphere in the future. So you can see this is a repetition. You can see BW future, it's going to be Datasphere. Bax will analytics will move as an analytics cloud reporting solution for planning, also analytics cloud solution for HANA cloud, and as for HANA group reporting is for the consolidation. So ABAP will transition to ABAP cloud, which is steampunk on BTP. And actually BW bridge is also on steampunk. You can see whatever the ABAPers be doing on ABAP on cloud is the same steampunk technology that's behind the scenes for BW cloud as well, because it's ABAP, right? So the only way you can bring the ABAP onto the cloud using steampunk, where ABAPers are been doing in S4 HANA wrap model world. That's full stack development using ABAP's stack as an application layer and UI5 as in front end Fiori apps layer. That's totally the reason we put it here is because of just BW Bridge. The context is BW Bridge, I mean to say. The one thing that is changed, as we already covered, that is a private cloud option that's we recently understood, and it is going to be available as part of Business Data Cloud as the fourth product. We haven't talked about it, and then it will have product generator option so that you can create data products from the BW cloud, sorry, BW on HANA private cloud system. So we don't know how this data product generator is going to look like, but the data is going to sit in data store, actually object store. This is the cheap storage that I was talking about. We will enable the object store in this sessions and understand how these files getting stored in object store when something is replicated into the data sphere. That's part one. I think I don't, yeah, I wanted to reiterate the statement that you may get a little overwhelmed with the topics that we are talking about. It is actually what I can say, more architecture concepts. Otherwise, when we go into the system and do when we go into the system, really, we will not talk a lot about things that come around, but we will do what is specific to that particular topic. So I think I paused another question until get to this point, BTP architecture. So you would have seen this at least quite a bit of times in SAP webinars. And so BTP, flagship platform as a service product, and everything is BTP now. So you don't see anything without BTP in your cloud world at this time. So you're doing something in cloud world, it has to be a BTP service, period. So that much importance BTP is going to be in the current and near future and even after. So in BTP, so we have 5 components that you can classify. So we got data analytics. That's where we are currently focusing on. Our area is we got HANA Cloud, Analytics Cloud, or SAC, or BDC. Or BDC will have Analytics Cloud and Datasphere, whatever the way you can call. And then Datasphere as a third or data warehousing on cloud. So all these services are going to be subscribed in BTP, and you pay depending on the service that you go for, pay as you go or CPA or BTPA, whatever the agreements that customers have. Then you pay and then get what is entitled for. Integration is a very other important component. This is where your integration suite come into picture. You see process integration, PIPO, API-led integrations, B2B integrations, all Ariba to success factors. Complex integrations can be taken place using integration suite. That is going to be more request and response basis, event basis, and processing orchestration from one to another system. It's not for a big data processing replications in general. So it's clearly separated from data and analytics. If your use case is data and integrations and data warehousing analytics, you exactly know where to go. It is BDC in the future, but right now it's a combination of Datasphere, Databricks, Analytics Cloud, and HANA Cloud. App development is for developers who've been application developers in ABAP. For all the side by side extensions, using business application studio or build code, we have people experienced in this area with pro code, low code, no code tools. We can take a quick peek at these tools. They are very simple, like build apps is a very simple tool that people can start working on it and build some orchestrations. That's not our topic of interest. um, Build code is for pro code developers. They can even have Joel as a co-pilot, and then ask Joel to prepare something to create a table and develop some CAPM model and prepare the data and everything. You don't have to do all these things manually with the co-pilot integrated in the business code. So build code, that is an application that they are promoting here. And then business process automation is for and simple BPMs or kind of workflow management and automation kind of activities. So this is for app developers. Integration for integration teams. Um, CPI is the tool in the past. Now it is integration suite, and that's where AI. This is also more building your custom AI solutions. Like any other, AWS has got, I think, smart something similar to that. I don't remember, but yeah, every vendor has AI custom product solutions required. And then agenting is the something that is coming on top of everything. If you really noticed last few weeks announcement, yeah, AI agenting is going to be a big game changer. And so you got AI agents built everywhere to automate the process. So you can say to the agent that, oh, where is my stock looking at right now? Okay, if the stock is going below, you train the model, and then that particular agent will take an action accordingly and prepare a procurement order to get the stock and move that to warehouse. This all can be not a human integrated way, but trained integrated way. It understands the patterns and train accordingly and will prepare the decisions to process that. So that's where these all these components going in. So if I to show you, I have a subscription account. This is a paid service. So you can create a lot of sub accounts. So I created one for my AI learning that's going to come in the coming months with all the core AI capabilities on how do we create AI custom models and run this streaming on. But that's not our topic of interest. And I created another sub account for the um, Datasphere. So here I set up a lot of subscriptions. So whatever the topics that I was talking about, integration suite. So it's going, if I invoke it, it's going to put the in integration suite, business application studios for development, HANA Cloud, HANA Data Lake, and this is DSP, and something that you would have noticed here, SAC. Now SAC as part of new BTP agreement with customers, you can create your own instance directly here. You don't have to wait for SAP to come up with an instance for SAC. That's a CPA model, which is old agreement model. So whatever the cloud software as a solution, you will be able to spin it up directly by allocating the required resources to that. So yeah, allocation, security, BTP administration, everything done in BTP cockpit. You can call this is for administrators, but just I wanted to give you some heads up. And once you got this services set up here, and then you can invoke them, and then like integration suite like this, you can do whatever the integrations. Thing I was just trying to answer the other person. So you can see all these ready-made integrations from one system to another system or cloud systems. So it's just not our topic of interest. So I'm going to move on to another topic that we have, the original topic of Datasphere that we will be focusing on the next 3-4 weeks. So just a couple of questions. Yeah, someone is asking difference between data lake and delta lake. I'm not an expert definitely on this area, but I can say delta lake is something that prepared or originally developed by Ali, data lakes founder, sorry, Databricks founder, and then eventually it got moved to Linux Foundation as an open source technology and then being developed. So if you look at the in a browser about the data lake, a medallion architecture or delta lake architecture. Originally, Databricks is so you can say delta lake delta.io. That's the website. This is maintained by Linux Foundation. So you so delta is on top of your lake data lake, which is very raw formatted, and it gets you a lot of better functionalities as a framework that enables to format the data and build a model that can be ACID agnostic. Something they've really put it in a better way to say that is going to help to read the data and use it in a analytical model or for data science and data exploration models. So we'll have to, I didn't really get into the details of this Delta Lake, but this is going to be coming very soon for us as well as part of BDC. That's going to be, I think once I get more information about how this works, how did Databricks build this originally and carried over to other systems, I will get some more information in the next couple of weeks or a month time. But at this time, this is the source for you to understand. And then you can follow accordingly. Okay. Yeah, so I'm so sorry that I'm talking all the different, unfortunately, this is how SAP is going. There are many things coming in and we are unable to catch up the same like anybody else in our data engineering community of SAP. We are not alone, actually. That's what I hear from people from SAP employee as well, other consulting companies and other solution architects and everybody. There's a lot changing. That's why my first disclaimer is that I may not know everything because of the rapid changes that occur in cloud current world. So we are not alone. Sometimes we know some areas and sometimes we relate something in our past and then we or from other technology like Azure and Databricks and then try to make a relation or understanding, and then learn accordingly from there. But this is coming very so like a faster phase. Okay, coming back to the content. So we got the data sphere architecture here. I didn't see anything better than what SAP Help has given to you, so that's why I put it in here. So this is a very nice diagram. Entire course is going to sit in this, is going to fit in this diagram. So so you can see, I think we got I think I'm planning to do it for the next 15 minutes. I think hopefully it should be okay. Just checking on the time. But this session is recorded, so in case if you miss it, you can always request for it. Okay, so what are we going to learn? Source systems in the bottom, that's the starting point, like any other data integration or data warehouse. And then we have object store. That's what something that you probably didn't see or didn't hear a lot. We're going to look at that object store. This is a cheap storage where you've been seeing it in S3 for a very long time, at least in AWS S3 or blob storage in Azure. So we're going to use something similar, cheaper storage to put the data in a local table that's that's the type of file. So we're going to use several objects in order to do that. Those objects are called replication flows. So we will understand what is a replication flow and what it can do. And once the data is staged, so we use transformation flows. These transformation flows run on Spark, on Kubernetes environment. They are super performance agnostic things for data intelligence and data engineering world. Apache Spark has been proven technology for compute engines in processing large volumes of data in other world for a very long time. Now we have that in Datasphere. We never had this in HANA Cloud or BW. We couldn't do that in BW, or I mean, not we as in SAP. So these are something been proven technologies outside, and now we have got in Datasphere as well. Other than file store, this is core Datasphere tenant where you have options to load the data into remote tables, not to load it. Just a remote table is a r- virtual table. You, depending on the source system that you are connecting to, you can create a remote table and replicate that remote table, so that data gets written into the target system. There are flows like data flows and replication flows again. Data flows can connect to your source system directly. That's where this arrow can see. This is all data integration that and transform the data using your graphical thing or operators, or you can use Python script operator. Not a big fan of Python script, but we will still understand for some of the at least 5 different use cases where Python script can be used by using Python popular models, libraries, NumPy and Pandas. That's where data integration and transformations taken place. And then here, local tables. Local tables are physical tables that are sitting in HANA Cloud. Of course, you create them in Data Sphere, but physically they get stored in the HANA Cloud database. And then once the tables get the data, we got views and models, you can call an analytical model. And actually, these views are graphical and SQL views at this time. You can transform your data further. Maybe here until this point, you don't really prepare or transform the data. You keep the data staged, replicated using these technologies. And here you can use graphical or SQL based views. If you're familiar with native HANA, calculation views, similar to that, or CDS views in ABAP as for HANA. And then analytic models. That's where your query capabilities that you've been doing in BW being absorbed. So you see restricted key figures, calculated key figures, exception aggregation, including non-cumulative key figures also they introduced in, and which they haven't been able to do it in native HANA for many reasons in the past, but now SAP was able to deliver all the BW BEX model BEX query requirements in analytical model. And then you got business prospect, where business people can access these views and do similar activities like consumption model with star schemas, and prospectives are the places where they can. Finally, the data is exposed to analytics cloud, can consume these analytical models, or they can consume prospectives. One of these two things can be consumed by analytics cloud or Microsoft Excel add-in for SEC. So add-ins you can just, or other tools you can still have Datasphere API. So Datasphere as an API service, you can if you are familiar with calling OAuth authentications and calling the API services GET, giving the API header parameters, all these things, which are very common in integration suite. If you are familiar with those concepts, you can really read the data from Datasphere using that API and put it into any tools. That's like custom API integration for other tools. So far, I'm talking about only the consumption only. So there is a big difference, not a big difference, at least a significant difference between consumption and export. So in BW world, we used to do Open Hub, and native HANA world, we used to do export services or something. So in order to export your data, we use replication flows. We didn't have that in here, but you can really read the data from Datasphere and export to several cloud service providers like S3, Blob Storage, Alibaba, and etc. The number is getting more as the target systems for replication flows. At this time, there are limited systems only. Like SFTP is currently not there, but in 3 to 4 months, according to the roadmap, it is going to be a target system. So replication flow will take care of that as part of premium outbound integration. That's going to be another additional charge for the customers. And then they can even read the data from source system and bypass everything and directly put the data into the target system with replication seamlessly. So that is where your pass-through scenarios also being delivered as part of Datasphere. So these are the different customer use cases. Some customers go with Datasphere as a pass-through, like in ETL. Don't store anything in Datasphere, just pass it to the target. And some people wanted to warehouse it and integrate with the other modeling techniques like whereby business application studio, where you can access other schemas coming from data lakes and also HDI containers. There are a lot of integration capabilities possible in here. We're going to cover those ones as well. So yeah, that's a very high level overview on what Datasphere is going to do. Our main objects are going to be local tables, remote tables, flows, replication flow, transformation flow, and data flows. And then we create views, and then those views can be used in transformation flows. And then finally get to the reporting analytical model preparation on top of them, either on top of them directly, or even your models can also give the data to the analytical models. So if I go into the system, then just quickly show what we're going to see. Oh, it is ended. So this is again a tenant, free tenant. You will not be able to get to this one, but you can set up another tenant. So I think I don't have enough access here. I'm going to put another user there so that I can get more privileges there. So you're going to do a lot of hands-on in this system, because that is our primary application for this training. So we'll build data builder. Actually, we'll start with connections or creation of the spaces. You can see all these objects are the one that are fit into that diagram that just shown you. You can see connections. We will connect to several source systems. At least 2-3 source systems we can connect. We have bunch of connectors available in Datasphere in order to connect. So I see, yeah, I think 1 or 2 connectors, and we try to replicate the data from those connectors. Like S4HANA being the top one in my list. I'm working with other provider to get me S4HANA system on premise so that I can pull the data into. Um, I'm pretty sure that we're going to get that very soon. HANA is like any other database. You can use it. And S3 we will connect, because I have license for S3. I can connect to S3 bucket and get the data from there, and etc. So that's going to be the connections. Oh, I think I just need to. There is something that, yeah. After the connections, we create the data builder activities in here. Let me just drag this one here and cancel it. So we're going to look at the data builder by creating all the analytic or the graphical view, SQL view, data flows, replication flows, transformation flows, and intelligent lookup. These are all I have written in course task chains for us, a process chain. So we will work on all these objects. Business builder is for mainly for power users, where they can simply rely on whatever in the data builder and create objects on top of it. So finally, prospectus will be used in the consumption. So we got SAC license set up, and then once we have the models ready in this one, we will access these or consume these models in the SAC application and see the live connection. And then I will try to show you the OData service as well. So if you just put SAP Datasphere OData service API, so you're going to get either you can go to the business API hub, or you can just go into the help documentation and understand what is the extensions of API. So you have a lot of um, documentation here. Yeah, so for example, if you wanted to list spaces, there is an API with endpoint catalog underscore spaces. You go, you run this one in any Postman or any of the API tool, then you get a response very immediately. Or you can use an integration tool or Power BI for that matter, and you provide the OAuth authentication and access the OData API with extensions. You get the results back in that consumption target application, you can say. We'll see this OData service API at the end for as part of consumption options. So that's starting with the integration, preparation, analytical model development, and consumption in these two. So full data engineering concepts that we're going to cover. Think got questions here? Licensing, yes, we will talk about that today. How your system is going to be, what options we have. Use case for specific to SAC. Consumption is going to be SAC only. That's a preferred tool. I am going to show other options to consume the Datasphere using API for external tool applications purpose. So that's going to be one session. So basically we run the APIs of Datasphere and get the response, and then those responses will be used as an input in Power BI or any other. But the primary promoted reporting tool is Analytics Cloud. So that's what our focus will be, to access the data from analytical models as well as perspectives in Datasphere. That's primary thing. Um, I think I'm good with Datasphere at a very high level summary. Then HANA Cloud and Object Store. At the second part, as I was showing in the previous diagram, it's not only Datasphere that you're going to need. You need to understand the HANA Cloud, underlying HANA Cloud database. How do you creating users in cloud, similar to BW on HANA, right? Or S4 HANA, at least, but more relevant is BW on HANA or BW for HANA. You work on application in BW. At the same time, you work on native HANA database as well. And then you share the models, or you mix the objects of BW in HANA, or you get the capabilities of HANA calculation views and use them in composite providers or open ODS views and etc. So you get to leverage both strengths, right? So similarly, you're going to have a mixed HDI based HANA Cloud objects accessed in DataSphere. So it's very important to know HANA Cloud in general. So that's where, actually, that's going to be a week session. I will go through, we have HANA Cloud instance already set up. You can use the trial instance also on BTP trial. I'm going to talk about that. And then we have Business Application Studio. That's what we are going to use for this course to build database models. That's what I chosen as a template. This can do a lot of things, like it can work with CAPM projects, Fury application projects, but our focus is going to be data modeling, data in HANA Cloud natively, and then we access these models unless we know how a HANA Cloud works using Business Application Studio and HDI containers. It will be difficult for us to integrate or use mixed capabilities in DataSphere, vice versa. So for a week, we're going to use, if you wanted to really know complete detail, full data engineering certification thing, for HANA, I have a separate course which I already recorded, but I'm not doing it again, this course again. But yeah, it's just this is what data engineering certification is all about. HANA Cloud, in HANA Cloud. Okay. There is no specific certification for Datasphere at this time. It's part of BW certification as Data Fabric. In order to write that certification, you must know BW concepts a lot. Otherwise, Data Fabric certification is going to be very difficult. So here you can see you got a command palette just coming in, and you can change the themes. I have a lot of work done on this HANA Cloud Business Application Studio. You can find those in my YouTube channel postings in case if you want it, but I have a completed dedicated course for detail, but we still cover this one. So you can invoke the terminal, or you can use every deployment activity, development activity in the um, Business Application Studio. Yeah. Yeah, so that's about the HANA Cloud topics that we're going to cover, and using Business Application Studio and HDI containers development and deployment, and then integrations with Git. Object Store, I haven't activated that yet. I will activate it tomorrow. It needs an additional things to do. Once I do that, I will be able to show you how object store is going to be. Currently, I have enabled only data HANA in-memory cloud database. So these are the trials that you can use to get your access set up. We talk about that in the next session for the system access. So we're going to use Zoom. I think I'm going to wrap it up. So we will understand a little bit on this one. Google Groups. Google Groups, yeah, just very traditional way you put the question. It's going to go as an email thread like this. I mean, if you couldn't ask any questions during the session, like you can reply. It's going to be a part of chain. Then it can be there for a long time. That is one option. As I said, I have another option, which is going to be with GitHub. If you have GitHub setup done, so I would say use this one because it has your integration to your repositories. Currently, in my new account, I don't have repositories. You can see repositories and etc. For example, let me get to the I think yes. No, this is all new repositories. I don't have any repository here. So, but that's fine. So all my reference documentation and everything going to be in my repositories here within a different account. So you can ask the questions and discussions actually, sorry. So you can see the discussions here. So you can put a question or announcement or content, and then anybody can in the group who are participants in the discussion can answer, and it can go with comments, everything like a streamed way. So this is another option. So I'm just going to let a poll activated. If you are, you just let me know what which one you like, and then um, we can use that. It doesn't make sense to use two tools. I activated the poll, and whenever you get a chance, you can submit it. That's for my agenda for today's session. The classes will be 8 to 10 p.m. in the Saturdays and Sundays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, an hour. Weekdays. I'm going to go very light with a specific small topics, but weekends we cover a lot in general. So that's pretty much I wanted to cover. Let's a couple of minutes I can open the floor to the questions to talk.
Yeah.
So one second. A couple of questions is still there. Once I think, are you covering connecting AWS, Google? No, I only take one cloud system, AWS S3. It's going to be same. The question I was reading is it's going to be same for Google Cloud and Azure Blob Storage. So, but I will connect to AWS only. And then other question, SAC objects to did replication trigger event from SAC to DSP. I have to understand a little bit more on these questions. SAC objects to DSP. Oh, the other way around. I understand that SAC to DSP is not something that I plan to cover in this training topic. That is more planning relevant topic that I have planned to cover it in my upcoming course for SAC planning. Anything that is related to the planning in Datasphere also, I'm not going to cover in this course. I mean to say planning scenarios, especially where you have the data physically stored in Datasphere and integrate with SAC planning system to be able to provide integrated planning scenarios for the data footprint. So that's not going to be covered in this course. That will be covered as part of SAC planning course, as a designed a specific SAC planning course that is going to come very soon after this. Replicating S4 CDS views to Datasphere, yes, that is what we're going to do from S4 HANA system. So we create S4. I'm trying to get the access in couple of days. for S/4HANA system on premise, and once I get the access, I will create a connection to that. Currently, we have it already pre-built connection by SAP Guided Experience Trail that we can always do from above CDS to Datasphere integration. In addition to that, I am working with someone to get me an S/4HANA system so that I can create the connection for this. Okay, the last question here is the trial access is depending on SAP's terms. I think 60 days, some of the systems. HANA Cloud is 60 days. Datasphere is 30 days, maybe 60 days. It changes. But as soon as it got lost, you can create another trial. Or you can, before it got lost, you can create another trial with another email, and then you can transfer all the content into a JSON or file and then move it to your new tenant, new system that you're going to get. So we work on that system access on how we're going to work with them in the next session. Okay, yeah. So I think those are the questions. I can still putting in the chat, but yeah, if anyone wants to talk, we can talk for next 15 minutes. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, hi
Sorry.
Sreekanth.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Sreekanth. Just a doubt, like this object store, whatever you have mentioned, right? So that will carry only non-SAP data, or like,
It is going to at this, yeah, the question depends on at this time or after BDSC. So after BDC, it is going to be SAP also, SAP data also. Even S4 data also going to be in object store.
okay. So in the data flow diagram which you have shown, right, the data sphere, right, we are getting data from SAP sources, and within that object store, we have some files and transformation flows or something, right? So what is the difference between both type of data consumption?
That's we're going to talk in the course. That's what the
Okay.
course is all about. Yes, we go into replication flows, transformation flows, data flows, and everything in detail. Understand what is the difference. I gave you very high level overview on how those working, and we will see how do they differ from each other.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
I think some more questions.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I have a question. This is early, I think. Okay. So if I want to take data from non-SAP system, so third-party system, that can I store that data into DataSphere, or I can after that I need to use that I mean my reporting to front-end tool is like SSE. How we can do that? I need to store the data here. Okay, that is the one question. And second question that if I store the data in DataSphere, that I can, by using those data, I can create the SSE models, like a planning model or some other model.
Mm-hmm.
These two questions.
Yeah, you store the data, basically data warehouse. SAC is not a pass-through scenario. The pass-through scenario means you have another storage like AWS S3 on the target side, and you read the data from some source system like S4, and then you do some transformations or replication things, and then put the data transferred into the AWS system. That's one scenario. You don't even store the data in DataSphere. In your case, your target or consumption application is SAC. So you will definitely store the data in DataSphere. There is no way you can bypass this because the SAC is not a target supported application for replication flows at this time. So there's no way that you can read the data from S4 and put it into SAC using replication flows. So definitely you need to store the data in DataSphere and consume that data from the respective objects in SAC, both for reporting as well as planning. So as I said, planning, I wanted to keep it separated from this training because it has got a lot more than just simple consumption. Because you write back the data, right? Once you do the planning, you make some changes, you get the approvals from the finance and everything, and then you put the data back revision versions and etc. So planning, we don't want to confuse at this time. So I have a detailed course for the planning of SAC in general, and then in that course we cover the Datasphere as well.
Yeah, that's okay. So I don't have AWS. So currently my landscape is so from S4 to Datasphere to SSC. So that is the thing.
Yes, that is going to be your case in future. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So I need to create every new space for that, right? I mean, say for
Oh,
example, I am bringing FI data or SD.
yeah. We will talk about spaces and why.
Mhm.
How do you classify the spaces? We have a topic for that. So we will see the best way to create spaces. Are you going to? There are best practices on creating the spaces, like you said, HR, IT space, integrated space. So we will talk about this in
Yeah,
the
sure.
number when it comes in detail of the best practices and how do you store the data in those respective spaces and
Yeah,
etc.
and last question, Sri.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I done some transformation, everything in data space, right? Okay. So by using those, I can create models, right? Not only, I mean, I know that we can create the story by using directly that views and all, but I need to by using that view, I need to create the data model. Is it possible?
By using that view, what you wanted to create a
Say for
data model.
example, yeah, I will get the data from different systems. I then say for example, this is again is like I have a third party system and SAP system. That is data is coming. One is S4, and another one is success factor data is coming. Okay,
Mhm,
these two I done some in transformation in that data sphere. Okay,
mhm,
so now I have one final one view is there. Maybe I do some entity or relational table, that kind of thing in
mhm.
data builder.
Yeah.
So I have one view. Final output is come. Based on that output, can I create model in SSC? I can consume those data like source for the SSC.
Yes, that's what we have seen in the previous session. Sorry, in the integration consumption topic just before.
Okay.
So if you look at this diagram, um, where is this diagram? Consumption, yeah, in the top. So this is what Analytics Cloud will consume the data. So you got
Okay.
analytic model or either prospective for the business people who are not good with data builder, but
Okay.
still and then they will consume them in Analytics
And
Cloud.
then in this case, I need not to maintain the data, but both, right? Both the places. Simply, I can use one place, right? Its data replication will be redundancy will be there, right? In SSC and the
Yeah,
data stream,
you don't have to replicate the data analytics code. It's a live connection. It's
but
live.
directly I can use
You
that.
can
Okay.
consume them. Yes. For
Okay.
planning, that's what I always say. For planning, there's a caveat because currently you will load the data into SAC, but SAP with Datasphere, there is a way that I mean not a way. SAP currently that is not a fully stabilized process. There are some challenges and tickets coming in, but you don't have to physically store the data in SAC when integrated with data sphere for planning scenarios also. But currently, I would, in my personal experience that I've seen with one of the customers, it is better to store the data in Analytics Cloud for planning at this time. Don't really play around with the data spheres, data persistence capabilities for planning in an SAC. Yeah, that's what but we will by the time we get to the Analytics Cloud things, I can talk more. But right now, no, it's all live connection. No need to store the data in Analytics Cloud.
Is it
Ashley,
live? Yeah, is it
yeah.
live also? We can store the data, right? It's like the delta capture is there, then we can store the data, right? In data space after.
Um, Not sure why I'm following it, but live connection is directly accessing the data from source. I mean, in this case, it is
Yeah,
Datasphere.
yeah, okay. That is remotely that will data will
Yeah,
get it. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, Sri. Thanks, Sri. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
We can.
let me see if there are any other questions that are in the chat.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So actually, I mean, I do have a bunch of questions, but I'm gonna try to limit it to two. First of all, because you were going through many things, especially on the data builder side, are we gonna use also, beside like remote tables, local tables, are we also using, for example, the entity import option, or also this import wizard? That's the first option. And then the second option, in regards to the working with the transformation for the graphical views, how deep is it? Is it just like a like just I mean, I know that you're going to keep this for the session itself, but are we doing multiple tables, joinings? Is it something that we can also expect on a project scenario, or is it just like a small thing for the purpose of the exercise?
Um, for the on this question, I think, yeah, I will restrict or keep my activity of the exercises to the extent that is only reasonable, not to the extent that it can go to a complex project scenarios for building graphical or SQL transformations or SQL views in graphical. Because I can take a couple of examples to talk about that object and then show that in the system as part of the training. That's what my objective, actually as course objective is going to be. To put in an answer directly for you, it is not going to be 10-15 tables taken from different sources and apply the complex row functions, or in SQL do logics and understanding the row wise calculations and filter it. No, it's not going to be that. That's going to go as a project workshop, which is like a very detailed expertise session. So yeah, I'm not seeing this course as going to be like that. It is going to cover a, a reasonable scenario. I wouldn't call very basic, just get 1 or 2 tables and then put it in. So the reason why I say reasonable is it is not only that import option that you just said, CS1 or import files and put it into the local tables. That is one way that we do for the training exercises. We do extract data from source system, like S4 HANA source system in an example, or Azure storage, or AWS storage. So we understand the pattern of data, how that is going to come from those source systems. And let's say you're going to go to another project in Datasphere, your challenges could be different in modeling the objects like graphical CVs or SQL. But you will definitely face the challenge of your integration scenarios, where I should focus more on, like, can serious views be replicated with replication flows, or should I use remote tables, or should I use data flows for this one? If I use replication flows, how does it look like? So I wanted to give the concept to the extent that what is going to be your immediate challenge when you go to a project in terms of integration as well as modeling. I wouldn't really go into the deeper problem solving challenges like hackathons, right? You just go and do, yeah. So there are some other forums where you can take the code hackathons, where you go and explore your use case to the extent that it can come up with a complex problem solving activity. I think I talked a lot, but to summarize, it is definitely not. My focus is more on what is your immediate challenge when you go to the project, rather than
Okay.
hackathon things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then there will you also use, beside the remote and local tables, also the import entities, some other option, or this import wizard? Because I think you were also mentioning somewhere in the description. Is it?
A good question, but I thought of covering that topic, but I think I missed it. So I wouldn't be able to do the import entities from BW system, because I don't have BW system for actually even BW bridge also. I don't have license to set up a BW bridge tenant at this time. I will try to get the BW bridge tenant and then try to import them or BW4 system as a separate license. Initially, I plan for this course is to get the import entity from S4 only. So there are three options for import entities: BW bridge, BW4 system on premise, and lastly S4. My intention is only for S4 HANA import entities, not for BW Bridge and BW4. Definitely BW Bridge I cannot do because I checked my licensing capabilities with free tier. BW Bridge is not really possible for me. I can try for BW4 system, but that is also going to be, I need to work with somebody who is going to provide BW4 system on premise and then open the tunnels or the firewall, because I have to bypass the cloud connector, which I don't have right now in my system. Yeah, that takes to a lot of infrastructure related activities like cloud connector and DPH and stuff. So that's where I'm bypassing all those things, and I try to do my best to get at least one system for S4 HANA to open the ports and bypass this cloud connector tunnel.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, will you walk us through mm, raising the access from different platforms or requesting the access from different platforms if needed? And also, you said 7 weeks for the course. Does that mean that the course will be finished somewhere like mid May?
Yes, that is the plan. 40 sessions each week, 6 kind of count, and then 7 in times 6, 42. So it's going to be approximately a month and 3 weeks, which is going to be, if I start next week, it's going to be May 3rd week or 4th week is going to be the end of the course. And the access, I don't really have to request for the trial systems. So you can request your trial access. I may have to support you when you wanted to get access to S4 or BW4 systems. That's where I need to work with a couple of people to get the on-premise systems and then open the ports and allow the tunnel. That's an additional maintenance that I really didn't plan to do for this course. But if people are interested and wanted to see the real project cases to import the entities from and also extract the data from S4 and everything completely fully a project scenario, I will try that for, but I'm definitely getting it for S4. BW4 is my backlog. I cannot promise, but I can promise only in 2 days
Okay.
about BW4.
Okay, because I just only familiar with getting the access for the Datasphere, but other platforms, I'm not that much familiar as I don't know about the others. So maybe
Oh,
if
yeah, that's a good question, because that is an additional payment you may have to maintain, right? Those are the service providers from somewhere remote locations from India. So they will charge for that particular systems, maybe $50 per hour, sorry, not per hour, per month. And then that's going to be a license for your user ID, and then you do some activity in there, and then you can extract the data from that into your trial instance of Datasphere. That's the plan. But yeah, we'll see. That's good questions. I think they are helpful to the others also. Any question on the chat? Yeah,
so just so sorry to sum it up. So the access for Datasphere is possible to get through the trial access, yeah, which is okay. But beside the access for the Datasphere, there are multiple, I assume, platforms that we need to get an access for, correct?
Right.
And those platforms, we should pay for it, you mentioned, in order
Yes.
to get,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. how to do that. I mean, because I mean, for example, I'm not familiar with the process on how to get it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm testing it right now. Couple of people.
okay.
If that is working with their ports open and they can bypass the cloud tunnel, then I'm going to suggest them, so that
Okay.
you just get an user ID from them, and then I can show you how to integrate with
Yeah,
that
yeah, it
system.
would be great if you can like tell us before the course starts, so we can, make sure that we have the access for
Yeah.
the course.
Yes, that's going to be in third or fourth session, but it doesn't stop us to
Okay.
start with the course, because course will focus more on the initial topics of where you don't really need integration and import entities from the other systems. There are other topics like spaces within the data sphere.
Okay.
We will focus on access, system access, and creating basic objects and etc. That will take at least 3 to 4 sessions. So by the time I will have an answer for the BW system, but for definitely sure, my confidence is 99% on S4 HANA system that I get set up done.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. So BW, there's one question here on the chat. I just read it out. BW Bridge is key component for, yeah, BW Bridge I explained to the extent that it can give you a lot more knowledge on how that works, what are the limitations, and how do you work. A lot about it, because it's just like a BW system on cloud. There's no difference. There are the points that you need to understand is how does the integration work, and how BW bridge limited in current limitations with why does a BW bridge exist? What are the limitations with ECC and S4 that force you to do the BW bridge? Those concepts are important, rather than really going into the BW bridge and building something is really exactly same as what you do it in BW system. There is no there are limitations. You don't have query designer, you don't have open hubs. There are a lot of highly required components that are not in BW bridge, but we will overcome those ones with Datasphere core. Yeah, we will talk about this. I mean to say that BW bridge is more conceptual knowledge that you need to understand, rather than physically going to see something on the screen. And that you should be able to do. So I'm not really very worried about not having BW bridge on my tenant with this trial or free trial.
Yeah. Hi, Sreekanth, Dinesh here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks you for the session. I understand that we try to cover in this particular training session more from S4 import and all. Can you also cover a scenario at least on a high level from SAC to Datasphere? At least we talk about limitations or restrictions, more from an integration perspective, and then DS to integration suite, like, in any scenarios that we can cover, at least one.
Yeah, I think I didn't plan for that because it's already going more than I think we talked about it. SAC to Datasphere, I thought of doing it for when I do the planning course, SAC planning course, not in this course. So the other way around from SAC back to the Datasphere. Yeah, it's adding more. Currently, the content is already, but I can just give
Yeah,
you,
just on a high level
yeah,
and
high level,
restrictions, if we
definitely, yeah,
can cover. So
yeah.
I was actually from SSC planning area, so I was more interested on the integration topics. I mean, I understand though we don't cover, at least wherever possible, if you can put in your expertise, or wherever we have restrictions, just on high level, would like to understand that.
Yeah,
Though we may not
definitely.
cover the topics. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can go through that simple few minute session for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So Srikanth, when do we actually start this trainings? Tomorrow, starting tomorrow or next week?
It's going to be next week, the way, because I didn't really get the payments and everything done for this yet. So I will wait for a couple of days at least to get the people who make a confirmation about the agenda and the course content that we gone through. And if they are making a confirmation, giving a confirmation in a couple of days. Meanwhile, I will also work with the vendor to get the S4 and BW4 systems access to make a connection there. Yeah, so I think I don't see that can happen tomorrow. It will be next Saturday and then the Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening, the specified time. But yeah, every session is recorded. You can just follow on after that if you miss it.
What would be the mode of sharing for the of the recordings and the materials?
We'll do this in Google Drive this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I get extra storage for this, and then we will share them. Yeah. Yeah. So let me see what the poll. I didn't stop it. Let me see if that poll says something. Tool end poll. Okay, more interested in GitHub. So you can create a GitHub account if you don't have, and then let me know the account ID. Like my ID is SSURMPALLY. So you, once we have the new meeting invite for recurring meeting invite on Saturday, Sundays, then I can share, I can add you there to this discussion forum. So that's going to be really something very important for everyone, because you can post anything in that forum and discussion forum, and then so anyone can answer. I try to answer as much as possible if I could get time anywhere, or anybody else also can answer in case if they know. And it's going to be a very interactive discussion forums in sharing the knowledge. I can say uh, it's it's all new. Um, and we are just making one step forward to get to that. Okay. Um, yeah, you can create a GitHub. It's just a very simple thing. You just go to github.com and then create an account with your email ID. Um, and then I can provide the access to my repository when the time. It's very simple. Yeah, is it useful for someone who already worked on Datasphere at basic level? It's a very generic question. I don't know how do I answer, but what I can do in addition to what you know in Datasphere, it's it's difficult to answer for me. But I can say definitely a lot of business insight or updates. If you would have worked in Datasphere by focusing on navigations a lot, and then it will be definitely helpful this course, because navigations, creating objects there, integration, replication flows, and working with the changes and etc. is one part. Is of course it's a very important part. We're going to cover that. Along with it, the evolution is also important. How these products evolving outside market, and the relevance of current objects in a more broader context is what I can add value to this. So yeah, I always say that you could just see my previous content. It's not just doing that particular exercise. It's more on why we are doing, and why would SAP do this in this way. Possible reasonable explanation saying that, oh, Azure was doing in this way, so they wanted to compete. Similarly, like Azure and Databricks has been a partnership, and they've been doing very well in data lake and data delta lake architecture. There is no reason SAP can get away with this. That's what we discussed, right? AWS Databricks is doing same way, and everyone is doing the same way in AI and ML, and SAP is falling behind by choosing data intelligence, and they were not able to develop all the Python AI ML scenarios in data intelligence. Though initial plan was to get the data intelligence into Datasphere product, they 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 cannot catch up, and that's when they're just getting the partnerships with the data lakes with AWS and S3 and etc., and data science with Databricks and etc. So the way I understand some of the interpretations, the SAP is partnering and then trying to manage where the current products are not able to fulfill, so where the other guys are able to do. So that's where I can add some value. If I don't want to say more about myself, but if you ask me this question, yeah, that's what I can add more value there. Think any questions? We got almost an hour and 50 minutes done. If no questions, I think I can end this call. A big, oh, this one. No, tomorrow there's any class. Once I get confirmations on how many people, I can plan accordingly. Maybe 10, 15, 20. No sure. But yeah, I'm expecting somewhere around 25. Let's see. Once I get the number confirmations, I will make the announcement and share the new recording, new meeting link to use to follow on. Okay. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's all. A big thank you for all attending this time in different time zones where you are. And I really appreciate. And then I definitely looking forward to see you in my training session. I can do my best to share my knowledge and expertise in this area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sri. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bye.
thank you,
Bye for now.
Sreekanth. Bye.
Bye.
We